Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we dig in and take a look at the trends between Bitcoin and the equities markets around the world, remember this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. Additionally, I would appreciate it if you could help spread my easy to understand analysis to help others, especially newbies or people who don't do their own analysis, make more informed decisions. And you can do that by smashing the like, ringing my bell, and hitting subscribe if you haven't, and leaving comments and questions in the comment section. And that will help the YouTube algorithm spread the announcements within its own ecosystem. So with that, let's dig into the trends and see what's going on. As many of you know by now, I'm sure you have looked at the charts. Crypto market is blood red, and this is mainly due to the really negative earnings reporting from equities pulled the crypto market down. You see BTC 29.2 down 4.4%, dominance 44.61. Dominance is still up there, which is interesting. Ethereum 2K down 5.92%, and its dominance is dropping further faster than Bitcoin 19.02. Recently, Ethereum was in the mid 19%, like 19.4, 19.5. At one point it was 19.7 even, but it's dropping more. Overall, we got a few other ones that tank really hard. ADA, Link, Algo, VET, Theta. So, pretty bad day for crypto. Let's take a look at the market cap here. Market cap is $1.25 trillion, and that is 4.99% decrease. Over here, this is the heat map for the U.S. equities market. Blood red. It's like red. There's like a few speckles of greens, but predominantly red. The big story of the day is really, you see Walmart here, but Target did a Netflix drop, negative 25, almost 25% here on Target. Horrible earnings reporting for their drop in their profit. So that tanked them. Walmart's down. Costco negative 12.45%. And so Amazon negative 7.16, Tesla negative 6.8, and then we got Microsoft negative 4.78, Apple negative 5.64. It's Nvidia negative 6.82. So as you can see, horrible. Not a single sector was spared. Wow. So let's take a look at the trends and what did we learn? Really interesting. I love looking at trends. So let's take a look over here on the watch list on the far right first. And you see that Nasdaq is down negative 5.06%. And then we got SPX down negative 4.04. Dow Jones Industrial Average down negative 3.57. These are really large drops. And then we have the volatility index moving back up just towards almost 31 at 30.96. And for those of you who don't know, at around 30 and up, that's pretty strong volatility. And that's up 18.62%. The Dixie is at 103.90, and that's up 58 basis points. U.S. 10-year yield is sitting at 2.88, and that's down 17 basis points. Let's go down to oil, gold, and silver here. We see that oil is back up at 109.18 or 23 here. Yep. And then that's up 17 basis points. Gold is down 1 basis point at 18.15. Silver 21.41. That's up 10 basis points. Let's take a look at the forex here. Euro is stronger than the dollar by, and that's up by 6 basis points. The pound is up against the dollar by 7 basis points. The dollar is up against the yen at 14 basis points. So a little bit of mix in the forex here. Forex stands for foreign exchange. So let's go over here and take a look at the first Bitcoin, and then we'll look at the U.S. markets here on the far left column. 30-minute time frame on TradingView, 7 days, 7 days trends here. So Bitcoin, what did it do since yesterday? Yesterday market opening, pretty much chopped up and down, and then at around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time yesterday, it continued to drop. There was a period of consolidation, but it pretty much on average dropped all the way through this morning's opening, and then somewhat went back up slightly, with a little bit of choppiness. So that's what's happening. So overall, after reaching yesterday's high, it dropped. That's what we're looking at. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq trends here. Let's look at the 7-day trend for Bitcoin first. So where it is right now is pretty much like in the lower half of the 7-day trend, but more towards the middle on the lower half. So if you look take 7-day trend, the average, it's just slightly below that. For the Nasdaq here, what did it do? Since yesterday market opening, it recovered a little bit, and so we marked that as a high point. Guess what? It lost all that after today's move. So now it's back from the top end of the range in the 7-day to the near the bottom end of the 7-day range, just in 24 hours. It's crazy. Same pattern. You can see here the pattern is almost identical with SPX, S&P 500 here. So I won't repeat it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, almost identical pattern movement there. And the Dow is actually in its lower end of the 7-day range. For the SPX, it's in the lower half, but not quite the lower end. Let's take a look at Dixie. As far as positive correlation with Bitcoin, if you just measure it from the high of yesterday down to today, it's positive correlations there. It pretty much dropped between Bitcoin, Nasdaq, and SPX as far as positive correlation. Let's look at the Dixie. So here Dixie opened pretty low in its range for the 7-day, right? And then it went slightly down. This is from yesterday, slightly down. And then since right around when Bitcoin dropped right up here, the Dixie at the same time went up. So on average, Dixie at around 5 o'clock or so yesterday, Pacific Standard Time, it started going up while Bitcoin dropped. So negative correlation there holds. So remember when I mentioned that sometimes they vary and they may hold for a little bit or like partially hold, but they usually return back to what their normal state is, which is holding their negative correlation. So that's interesting. US 10-year yield, here we see that at just before market opening, US 10-year yield dropped significantly here down to its not as low end on the 7-day, but on the lower half. So that drop. And the yield drops when price rises. Price rises because there's more demand. You can see here when it was roughly around 3 point something percent. People, there was more demand for it. So people bought into it. More demand. Price goes up. Rates goes down. The yield goes down. So overall, tough market. Dollar regaining strength. but tough market for equities in the U.S. So let's take a look at the European and Stoxx 600 markets indexes here. So at since yesterday, the UK 100 went sideways, and then near U.S. market opening, it tanked in coordination with the U.S. markets. Same thing with the DAX, went sideways yesterday, and then near U.S. market opening, tanked. Similarly with the CAC 40 from France, sideways since yesterday, tanked when just before U.S. market open. Same thing with the SPX, similar, not same, similar. It somewhat traded down from yesterday to the period before that, and then just before the U.S. market opening here, hours before, it started tanking too. So we have the U.S. markets and European markets losing some of its recent recovery. Let's go over to Australia and Asia. Australia, their trading period is before the U.S. markets open. So more than likely, when their markets open later on, you're going to see them probably following the U.S. and the European markets and tanking, more than likely. Not all, probably most. So let's take a look. The STW index from Australia, this one in its last trading period, it went up, and it's on the upper end of its 7-day period. More than likely, I predict that it's going to drop somewhere at least toward the middle. Maybe. So it'll drop. Let's see where it goes. Nikkei 225 in its last period, kind of trending down a little bit, but up on its 7-day still. On the KOSPI from South Korea, similar to Japan here, trended down, but still in its upper end of the 7-day period. Hong Kong HSI index last period on the upper end of the 7-day period, chopping somewhat slightly up. CSI 300 from Shanghai, 7-day period, it's in the upper half, but in its last period, pretty much choppy, down, up, then down again. So landing pretty much back where it started on that trading period. So let's see what happens. More than likely, the Asian and Australian markets will follow the U.S. and the European markets. So what do we learn? We learned that you can have slight recovery, and like just within one day of trading, it can pull the market back down significantly and erasing its gain from the last several sessions. So, trends are good to see, but you got to keep in mind that like a macro factor or like earning announcement or whatnot can shift the market so fast. So the bottom's not in. We don't know if the bottom's in yet. So just be prepared for further drawdowns within the market. It's best to be prepared and not, be stuck on if something's going to happen. I appreciate your time. Please smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And I will see you in the next video for the, let's do the macro news and see how that impacts the market. And then I'll do Bitcoin, and I believe today's Wednesday. I think it's AVAX, so do that too. All right, I'll see you in those videos. Peace.